Hi everyone, welcome back. We're doing block 24 today. We've just done, we've just done block 23. We've got a strip piecing method. So we're going to test out the theory I have on ironing. This is getting very full. I think we're going to outgrow it now. Do I have another green? No, I might have to hop to Office Works and get another green one. Alright, what are we doing today? We are doing the Friendship Star variation. What we're varying? I don't know. Let's see. We're on scant seams, so go to your machine if it's not already on. Make sure it's on a scant seam. Cutting, we've done that. Oops, probably bumped the microphone. Alright, what have we got here? Follow the strip piecing method using the scant seams on the white fabric. So that's going to be these two. This is where we're going to test our theory, my theory on ironing. My iron on? Yep. Look, we're organised. Alright, so they're going to be strips pieced together. Then we're going to cut it up. That's our centre, so we don't need that for a little while. And we're doing 4 at a time. So you will need, or I will use this. You'll need this ruler. You will need this ruler. We've learned our lesson. We're just going to triple check. I feel like it was a one-off. Nope, we're good. Alright, I'm going to iron these. Then I will prep this, sew this, and I will do a little bit of the ironing here to see if it makes a difference. I will be back after this is ironed and prepped. Alright, in order to test my little theory, that roller won't work, this one will. Oof, if I can pry it from under the book. Alright, in order to test my theory, step 1, is it 1.5? Yes. And no. Hang on, let me bring this one closer to me. No, it is. I was just too far away to see it. Okay, yes. This one's easy because it's patterned. Yes, okay. Alright, so, first hurdle. Yes, that's 1.5. Which means when we sew it together on a scant seam, we should still get a straight line. Now, to be even more cautious than normal, I'm actually going to pin it. I'm not going to pin it so that it interrupts my sewing, but I'm going to pin it to make sure that our line is straight. So far we've ruled out it being cut wrong. Now we're going to try and rule out it being sewed wrong. I actually think we do this pretty well. And if we don't, I think we know that and we make appropriate adjustments for that. I also do not think it is bad enough to need to pin. I think we can correct it elsewhere because I'm not going to pin all my strip pieces together. I'm doing this for experimental reasons only. Okay, so it's pinned pretty neat all the way through, so we should be able to get a nice neat straight line on that. Now this guy, you remember how to do these, so we're doing 4 at a time with a scant seam. So how I do these, at this point I'd say you've done these enough times to have a technique of your own that you prefer. So on a scant, for me I use the 3/16 line. I draw myself a little line here. Line does a couple of things. When I see the intersect point, I know to stop, but also when I see the incoming line, I know whether or not my seam's straight. Should I be able to do that without this? Probably. Can I? Probably. Will I do it? No. I like this method. It's a little bit of prep work, but I like it. Alright. So, first things first, I'm going to get this one out of the way, because this is not our experiment. Then, I'm going to put this one back here before I iron it, and I'm going to see, with this ruler, how close we got to this, down here, this 3/16 line. And go from there. We're going to rule out things one by one by one. Alright. Zoom in. So I flipped it over because it's easier to see the white side. Now, I am going to attempt. Oh, interesting. Alright. So it's the sewing. Although, let me check this side because this is the side I actually pinned. Actually, no, it's not the sewing. It's my cutting. Well, the white side is not that straight. Oh no, it's the sewing. I do not know if you can see this. Okay. Why I have a poker for this reason. So, that's the scant seam. That's a 1/4 inch. And you can see that when I line it up with the fabric, that we waver just underneath it, and then we come back up. So, and I did this really slowly. Really, I don't know if I zoom back out. So, no, that comes out of, just going to have to take my word for it, I think, because, so, ever so slightly, it wavers, and then it comes back up and gets smaller here. Which means, when I flip this over, this end here is going to have, like, an up curl in it. So, my theory about the ironing is not right, because it's our sewing. So, something to be mindful of, I guess, is that we're obviously moving the fabric as we sew. And sometimes it's not going to have a more exaggerated effect than other times. We're going to need that. And we're going to need that. Alright, I'm going to iron this. I'll be back. I will say though, yeah, you can see it now. I line that up, you can see it. It dips down. What I will say though is I do start from my middle when I iron, and I don't know if you do. So to do this, I would iron in here, and then iron this way, and then iron that way. So if you're not doing that, try that as well. That also might be why mine's less of an exaggerated effect. I don't know. But you know what? It ain't straight. It is what it is. Now, we have to cut this guy. I still have not moved my pedal, which I am going to have to, because I did not enjoy sewing this one without foot control. So if by the time I make the next block I still haven't done that, please tell me I committed to do it in this one. Alright. So, we know we're trimming those down, so we'll put those on the ironing board. What are we doing with our strip? We have all those little bits and bobs everywhere. Okay. we're going to make 8 1.5 by 2 inches. Oh, these are going to be tiny. Oh, does that seem right? Yeah, that seems right. 1.5 by 2.5 inches. Then cut strips down to 1.5 intervals to make 8 1.5 by 2.5. So we still have 2.5, so we're fine. This is very cute. That line's straight, so I'm cool. I'm not going to trim that off. I'm going to come up to that 3. So we're going to make 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I've moved down and I'm using this line to also just double check that seam. 7. No, it's still okay. So that one there would be a problem. This one's just getting in, but that would have been a problem. But we don't need it, so we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm actually going to turf it because it's not the right size and I don't want to get confused. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is iron and trim down the half squares. So you don't need to see me do that. I'll come back when they're ready. Alright, we're squaring up our last one. Alright, now we're piecing the design together. It's fun when we do this bit. Alright, well, we know that's the middle. And we know one of these goes this way. I say we know because I can see it. One of them goes this way. Oh, and these make little ones. Oh, that's cute. Didn't really think about how these were going to go together. Alright. So what's step 1? Step 1 is sewing these all together. Okay. Alright, now we're on scans all the way. Yep, we're on scans all the way. Okay. So, first things first are these little guys. I am just going to pin them all together, iron them and then put them back. And that just sorts those out. And plus we were supposed to do that earlier. And we didn't. Because I don't actually follow the instructions sometimes. A lot of the time. I kind of just wing it based on what I know we need to do next in order to get anywhere, and then look back and go, I should have done other steps. But I also like to do all my sewing at once. Okay. Now, we're also going to sew, I'm going to sew these together. Because I know that they need to go together, and then I'll sew, whatever. Okay. And then I'm going to sew that one to there, and then I'm going to get this sewing out of the way with, and then we can start building together. Alright, I'll be back. Right. So the middle one's sewn. Now I have to put these back in the right order, which is that way, that way, that way, and that way. Alright. Yep, okay. So I'm going to sew these to these, these to these, and then this to this, this to this. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I don't know if I've mentioned, but when I'm doing like these tiny little ones, I iron both the front and the back. I've got a little miss there, but you can see I iron both sides because there's no weight in the fabric to help it sit down nicely. Alright, so last two seams, top to bottom. As always, work out which is your the points which you need to match the most. In this one, it's going to be those green seams. Unfortunately, mine are sitting on top of each other, and I got some puckering. So, can I fix the puckering? Is the puckering just because this side wasn't in properly? Nope. We've got some stretch on that fabric. Or some different size things. Alright, well, we're going to hope for the best on that. And you know the rules. 3 feet or it ain't a problem. Which means you'd basically, given the size of these, you would basically have to have sewn something completely in the wrong direction for it to be a problem. And put a little pin in it, and then we're going to sew it. I'll be back. Alright. Not perfect, but not the worst. Now we'll go this one to this one. So a little side on. Let's see how these ones line up. Normally for me one side is better than another. And that, no, about the same. Which, I mean, that's good in a way, because that means that everything I'm doing is pretty even. Is it ideal? No, it's probably that. This has been sewn and ironed and cut, and the other one is just a straight square. That's fine. We deal. It won't be the end of the world. Alright, this is our last seam for block 24. Our next block means we're a quarter of the way through. I'll be back when this one's done. Alright, it's done. And maybe this little gap here is, well, it's on both of them. So I'm going to say if it's on, it's actually on all 4 of them. So if it's on all of them, it's meant to be there. Not my best ironing there, Amanda. Might go fix that. Otherwise, here we go. That's what we got. That's what we were meant to get. I'm pretty happy. So that is block 24. Well done, us. What is block 25? It is more of the same but slightly different. Block 25 is Home Queen. I guess that's supposed to be a crown. Alright. Well, I'll see you for block 25, Mum. And block 25 is a quarter of the way there. Well done. We can make our pointers clap hands. Yay. There's like they're flipping you off. Alright. I will see you for block 25 and hopefully some restoration of my sanity. Bye. And maybe my pedal for my machine, which I feel like I should definitely go and get. Yeah. Alright. Bye.